In this video, we're going to learn arrays. So what's an array? Imagine we've got a list of variables, each of them referring to an item in a shopping list, for example. And rather than creating each variable, declaring the variable and then assigning a value to it, there is a better way of doing that. It's by using arrays. So we can create one array and group all the values of those items inside this array. So let's create our first array. The syntax is pretty easy. We need to use the var keyword, okay, followed by the name of the array. Let's name it shopping list. Okay, and then we can assign a value to the array using brackets. Inside the brackets, we will put all the values of our items. So let's have our first item with the value bread, and we need to separate all the items using commas. So second one is, for example, eggs, and then milk. So now we just created an array of 3 items. All of them are strings. Arrays, they can include any type of elements. We could have an array of numbers, or an array of mixed numbers and strings, or functions, or whatever. All right. So now let's see what happens when we assign the value of our array to an HTML element content. So let's put the value inside our paragraph. So we need to use the getElementsById method. Okay, and we need to assign the value inside our inner HTML. All we need is the name of the array. So let's refresh the page, and we can see there all the items of the array displayed and separated by commas. All right. Another way of defining an array is by using a constructor. As we have seen earlier, arrays are a type of objects. Okay, and there is a constructor to create arrays. So basically, rather than using this syntax, the other syntax is by using the var keyword, the name of the array, and then we need to use the keyword new followed by the constructor's name, which is array. And basically we need parentheses, and we need to put the parameters of the function inside the parentheses. So it's going to be similar to the other definition. We just need to put all the values there, separated by commas. Okay, so let's see what we get when we refresh the page. We get exactly the same results, but anyway, it is better to use the first way rather than the first one, because we just want to avoid using constructors and objects. So okay, so now let's say we want to access one of the elements, one of the items of the array, and show it in our paragraph. Okay, before we do that, let's so rather than changing the content of the paragraph, let's just add our result to the paragraph. So we're just gonna add a line break. Okay, and then the results that we want to display. Okay, so you've got the original paragraph followed by whatever results we want to display on the page. Okay, so now we want to display only one item in the array. So let's say we want to display this item. So we need to use something we call an index. So an index is a number that shows the order of each item inside the array. So every single item has got a single index. So the first item's index is 0, and then the second one is 1, and so on. So all the time we start with 0. So let's say we want to display bread. So we're going to need to use the same syntax, and we need to access the item using the name of the array, followed by brackets, and then inside the brackets we put the index of the item. So in our case it's 0. Okay, so let's see what happens. So basically we have bread there. Okay, if we want to access another item, so let's say we want to access the last item, so 0, 1, 2, so the last item's index is 2, so we just need to use the index 2. So we save and then we refresh the page, and now we can see milk there. Okay, so just to avoid using this long code all the time, we're just going to define a function. So we're going to call it show results, and basically we're just going to need to give it a parameter, and all the function is going to do is to add the parameter to our paragraph. So just going to use exactly the same code there. Okay, and just add x. We'll add a line break and then x. Okay. All right, so let's change all these ones. So first one is going to be show results of shopping lists, and then the second one is going to be show results of shopping lists. Okay, index 0, and then followed by show results of shopping list index 2. Okay, and then we can get rid of all this. It makes our code more readable and easier to understand. All right. So now, if we want to change one item value in the array, so first of all we need to access the item using the index of the item and then assign a new value to it. So let's try to change the second item. So we need to access the item first using the index, and let's change it to yogurt, for instance. And now let's show the array in our paragraph. So shopping list, and now we can see that eggs has been replaced by yogurt. All right. So we can try that again. We can change the item of index 2 to orange, for example. And show the array again. And we can see that milk has been replaced by orange. Okay. Now let's say we want to delete one of the items. So there is a function that we can use. It's by using the keyword delete. Okay. And then we just need to specify what item we would like to delete. So let's say we want to delete item 1, for example, okay, of index 1. So let's display the array and just show what is going to happen. So now we can see that we don't see yogurt anymore because it has been deleted, but we can see that it looks like it's still there with without any value. Okay, so let's create an alert message, okay, where we want to see this element. So shopping list index 1, and see what we get. So it says undefined. So basically it doesn't find any item there because it's undefined. Basically we just deleted the value of this item. So there is another function that will delete the item completely, okay, using the splice method. So let's assign a new value for this item we just deleted. Let's go back to yogurt again. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this as we keep using the same code all the time. So now we can see that the array has got all 3 items and we can see the value of each item. Now we're going to use the method splice to delete the second item of the array. Okay, so the way to do that is by using the name of the array followed by the method names, which is splice. And then we need to use 2 parameters here. So the first parameter is referring to the position of the item that we would like to delete in the array. Okay, so in our case it's 1, and the second parameter is telling how many items we would like to delete from that item. So from item number 1, index 1, how many items we want to delete. So let's say we only want to delete 1 item. So what the code is going to do, it's going to start from this item there and delete only 1, which is itself. And then let's see what the result is. Okay, let's save. Okay, something went wrong. Let's have a look at the console. Oh, we haven't written any code to add the result there, that's why. So now, okay, so now we can see that we don't have the second item anymore, and unlike the delete function, we can see that we have only 2 values separated by 1 comma. All right, okay, now let's say that we would like to add a couple of items between bread and orange. Okay, so we're gonna use the same method, splice, but this time it's gonna be a little bit different. Okay, so as we said, the first 2 parameters, they are used to define the position we're gonna start from and the number of items we would like to delete. Okay, so in our case, we're not deleting anything, but we still need to start from a certain position. So we're gonna start with the position 1, okay? And then we don't want to delete anything, so it's gonna be 0 elements to delete. And then we're gonna add all the elements or the item values we would like to add. So let's say we wanna add 2 values, banana and apple. So what's going to happen now, we're going to start from here, okay? And we're going to add all these elements just before this position, okay? Just before orange, we will add these ones. Okay, so let's see what happens. So you can see that we started from orange, okay? We didn't delete anything, but we added these item values just before orange. Okay, all right, so that's how the splice function is used to delete items and to add other items. Okay, now we're gonna have a look at another function. So let's say we would like to sort the array by alphabetical order. So we're gonna use another method here, is the sort method. Okay, so let's see. So now we can see that the item values are arranged in a new order using the alphabetical order, and we can actually reverse this using the reverse function. So it's going to be a shopping list, and the method is reverse. And now we can see that the order is reversed. Okay, finally we're going to see how to create an array from a string. So let's create a string. A, B, C, D. And now we're gonna create an array, my array, and it's gonna be created using this string. So all we're gonna do, we're gonna start from the string, so my string, and we're gonna use a method called splits. Okay, so show results of my array. So it just returns an array of one item, A, B, C, D. Now, if we use double quotes with nothing between them, let's see. Now we get an array of 4 elements. Each of them is one single character of the string. Okay, so let's say if we had space in the string, what we're gonna get here is each character, including spaces, is going to be actually in the items of the string. Okay. Now, if we had only one space, okay, let's say one space there, or let's say we had something like, what is the weather like? And then between the quotes, we put a space there. So what we're going to get is all the words inside the string that are separated using spaces. Okay, so we end up with each of these words. Okay, so whenever we have a space, we are creating a new item inside the new array. Okay, so that's how we can get or create an array using a string. Also, there is another parameter that we can add to the split method, is the limits of the number of items that we'd like to have. So let's say we want to have maximum 2 items inside our array, then we can add that parameter, and then we end up with only 2 items. Okay.